Fabulous Films is a company which will probably be mentioned quite a bit on this channel, and that is because they have done quite a bit in the last couple of years to make sure that fans of classic animated shows are pretty well fed in a number of ways, because we've seen reissues and complete series releases from them of a number of things, like the Small Films catalogue, the Trumptonshire trilogy, plus, off the top of my head, the Cosgrove Hall stuff from Thames Television, and most recently, things from the FilmFair catalogue, including two of its most famous programs, I would say. And one of those is what I'm going to talk about here. Now, in doing so, they have issued a number of them just on DVD only. And the reason for that is that either the materials, the film materials didn't exist anymore, so they've just gone to the best available tape copies, or it was just made on videotape anyway. So that is why a lot of the Cosgrove Hall stuff is on DVD only. But with a lot of these things, they've managed to track down like 16mm prints of programs and put them out after restoration. And as we saw with Paddington Bear, it's night and day. It's utterly fantastic. And the latest one, in what I hope is a long line, Parsley, please Parsley, is this one, the Wombles, the original series, the complete collection, series 1 and 2. This is a 3-disc set. We'll get onto the 3rd disc a little bit later and explain what that is. But I don't know about you, I love and always loved the Wombles. I had videotapes of it growing up. I didn't realise, see, back in the 80s, whoever owned it at the time went through a period of overdubbing music onto the original track. So some of the versions I remember had music on it. So then when I bought a DVD release years later and there was no music, I was like, oh, this is much more, you know, what was originally intended. And if you have the previous releases of the Wombles, the picture was very much of its time, you know, and as with Paddington, a lot of this stuff is starting to look a bit worn and faded. This, fully restored from 16mm film, where they've scoured the world looking for this stuff, looks utterly incredible. And if you watched my Paddington review, you'll say that it was like reaching out. You could reach out and touch the puppets. With this, it's even more. And I'll tell you why. Because the colour palette of this is a lot more vibrant. With Paddington, there's a lot of white, right? And it's sort of got that crayon effect because of the artwork. With this, it's like green props and green landscapes, and there's brown in there, and there's all kinds of colours. It's a little bit dark inside the burrow, but outside you have a lot of vibrant colours. There's blue. So with this, it just opens up the entire world. You literally feel like you could reach out and touch Great Uncle Bulgaria. It's amazing sometimes the detail that can be unearthed, you know, with this stuff. Obviously, the series itself is funny. It still is. It's sort of 5-minute stuff that was played before the news back in the mid-70s, and it became a craze. You know, it went off into pop music and things. And a lot of the program is sewn together by the brilliant narration of the legendary Bernard Cribbins. I mean, his characterizations. I've heard, like, the recent radio series of the Wombles narrated by Richard E. Grant. My son, you know, thinks of Richard E. Grant as the voice of the Wombles. For me, it'll always be Bernard Cribbins, because I hear Richard E. Grant's version and it's a bit gruffer and sort of, I can understand, like, it's a different reading. But with Bernard, like the voice of Orinoco, it just is like it is that. And so you have series 1 and 2, and I have a lot of favorite episodes of this show. The one where they go on a treasure hunt and they end up damaging the stopcock. I love the line where Tobermory is like, I don't know where the stopcock is, cock. Like, I love that. It's brilliant. There's lots of other favorite episodes in there that I can just watch over and over again and never get bored. And you really get a feel for the work that Ivor Wood, who's one of my heroes, Barry Leaf and co, were doing with this. It's just amazing. And with this, like, it's just it's just night and day. I don't know how else to describe it. Now, it does come in this sort of outer casing, which I note that Paddington didn't. I guess they were trying to make it more of an event. And I must say, the first time I picked it up, and I think I tipped it a moment, and in doing so, like, it fell out really, really quickly. But it's a nice thing. It makes it sort of a collectible, if you will, and a bit extra value. Now, in addition to Series 1 and 2, there is a third disc in here, which, whatever version you get, is a DVD. And from what I understand, it is basically old stock that Fabulous Films have bought. They haven't pressed these discs themselves. It's not a new transfer or anything like that. You've probably already got this in your collection. If you don't, it's a nice little bonus. The third disc on here is the 1977 feature film Wombling Free, directed by the actor and director Lionel Jeffries, featuring quite a lot of Mike Batt's music. I haven't actually watched it yet. It's something I'm saving for a rainy day, but I like the fact that it was included as an extra, because you could pay £6 or £7 for the DVD somewhere, and instead it's packaged in as part of this. That's a nice thing. I would have preferred it to be in HD like the rest of it, fully restored, but different owners of different content, and they've just tried to find a way of adding extra value. And in addition to that third disc, we have special features on here, including Barry Leaf FilmFair Animator, which is the same as on the Paddington disc. We have Mike Batt, The Wombles and Me, nice little feature, and the creator of The Wombles, Elizabeth Beresford, nice little spotlight on her, and then the Wombles Restored, which is a bit like the other releases where they show you a little clip of the original print, and then like the master copy, and then the new restoration, and it is pretty breathtaking when you see that. As a side note, I've noticed some people comment about the change in music during the intro. It's still Mike Batt's fabulous theme at the beginning, but it's a slightly different interpretation. I feel like there are a couple of episodes in there with, say, original sound, but I think what has happened, perhaps there was some damage to the material, or, some of these things are just irrecoverable, or they said, well, let's make it as shiny as the rest of it. I might be wrong. It might even be just a better copy of what went out at the time. But yeah, there is a difference there. It depends. There's a lot of things. There's something I would have to ask Fabulous Films themselves. So that is The Wombles, the complete collection, series 1 and 2, plus bonus of Wombling Free from Fabulous Films. The price is a bit pricey, but if you love this show as I do, and you want to see it in a way which it's never really been seen before, it's as close to being at the set as possible, then this is for you.